Show right here on Ghana Television. Interesting moments right here. You know something? There's something like Boy Scouts, and it's not just something. It's something really huge because I myself, when I was young in Christ the King, I was a Scouts leader. I think they used to call me Aquila or something. I don't know if it was a term, but it was in my Scouts day. I remember, several things. I remember we used to wear a beret and we had the whole thing. But how, you have to dress as a Scout and the likes. You just see them right now, right here, and as I'm speaking to you now, the naughty Martina is just behind the camera making all sorts of gestures. I don't know if she used to be a Scout or something. Anyway, right now we are talking about the Scouts Day, and I've been joined by the World Scouts Bureau, Communications and Public Relations Officer with the World Scouts Bureau in the person of Nelson Opare. Is it Nelson Opare? Opine. Okay, Nelson Opine. He is you're the Communications and Public Relations Officer of World Scouts Bureau, the African Regional Office. Am I correct?
Right.
And I see that your thing is different. The one in the middle holding what is this called a scarf, right?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. I got the name right. And the wooden thing, is there a name for it?
It's a woggle.
Woggle.
Yeah, woggle.
Yeah, I think I remember that one too. By my days, it wasn't like this. I think it was different.
Yeah.
I think it was wood as well, but it was round. It wasn't designed and intertwined like this. Okay. Well, let me just introduce the rest of my guests. I've also been joined by Jemima Nate. She is the Vice Chairperson of the World Scout Committee. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show as well. And finally, Gregory Yao Mafo is the Chief Commissioner of the Ghana Scouts Association. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show. Okay, now you all have the same type of woggle, but his scarf is different. Is there a reason why your scarf has the lines in there?
Yes, this is for the management members of the Ghana Scout Association.
Okay.
And even in the groups, we use the scarf to identify each sub-unit, within the group.
Oh, okay.
So it's a unique way of identifying people in the group.
And I know that the badges has rank sometimes, so it's not the case now.
No.
Things have changed.
No.
Okay.
So with our scarves, it's because we belong to the world level, either with the Bureau or with the World Committee. And these badges that we have here, this is simply my name, and this is the World Badge. It's called the Fleur de Lis. And around it, you have what you call the Messengers of Peace. So I put this on because I'm a messenger of peace, and because I belong to the World Organization of the Scouts Movement.
Okay.
So basically, the badges has to identify either the country where you belong, because you see that he has one badge there that shows that he's from Ghana Scouts Association, and you'd realize that I also have something here which shows that I belong to the world level, and he also belongs to the world level, but to the Bureau, the office. Yeah.
Okay. So you are confirming that the badges do not necessarily show rank.
No, it shows where you belong.
No, I'm saying that because I think I've been defrauded. In my days as a scout, they made me get all these badges, and they will let you do some exercise, and then after you have to buy the badge, And I bought all these badges. My green, I was wearing green at the time. It was filled with badges all over. Hey.
Well,
Like explain that.
maybe the badges are part of what we call the Scout program. We have a progressive scheme where young people go through educational activities, and at every level you are recognized. Your achievement is recognized by being given a badge.
I think I'm going to ask you a lot of questions.
You are not defrauded.
I love your accent, by the way. That's like the World Scout accent, I suppose. Anyway, now what is scouting generally? What is scouting? I'll start with you. What scouting means to you as being a commissioner?
Yeah. Okay. Well, scouting is a non-political educational movement for young people. Okay. And the main aim of scouting is to train young people to become self-reliant so that they can play constructive roles, in their communities when they grow up.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add, Mr. Opine and Jemima?
Yes, apart from that, scouting is also presently, we are involved in social activities. We are into programs that is going to help young people to get themselves associated with world programs. let's talk about climate change. Let's talk about sustainability issues. Let's talk about, anything that helps young people to help others.
So it's not just about climbing trees and...
No, you see, those things normally happen during camping, and it is just to help young people to believe in themselves, to become confident in themselves. And, that's why most times people would say, we don't see you guys anymore. You don't see us because we have added up a lot to our program.
Okay. Now, also about what sorts of disciplines that maybe scouting instills. Are there any disciplines at all? Well, you spoke about confidence. That's also one virtue, I believe. Nelson, you want to add some?
Yeah. One of the most important pillars of scouting movement is a value system. We are a movement based on certain values, and especially what we subscribe to as scouts, regardless of which country you belong to, is what we call the Scout Promise and the Scout Law. So these actually provide the young people with a code of values that they can live and practice in the process of learning and growing into adulthood.
Now, speaking of values, you said promise, and I remember we used to do this. It meant something. I'm not quite sure. What
Your right hand.
Right hand, sorry. What does that mean again?
This is a summary of the fundamental principles of scouting, which is duty to God, duty to self, and duty to others. Simple.
I can swear what's different in my time. Or is it different in Ghana?
No, it's the same.
It's global.
Things have changed.
No.
Oh,
It's
I think my scout teacher. I don't know where he learned this from. He said, I totally forgot, but I can swear it's different. It's so different. Anyway, a Cub Scout is cheerful, obedient, and honest. Thinks of others before themselves. I think that's what we used to recite a lot.
Yes.
But no, he said this one is be prepared, and the other two I forgot. But one is be prepared, be something, and be something. Anyway, that's fine. I'll have the police look into his qualification to be a scout teacher, and also, who can be a scout, because the perception of scouting is more male dominated and the like. But I see a beautiful lady amongst us. So is it, open to all? Who is eligible? Who qualifies to be a scout generally? I'll start with Jemima.
Scouting is open to all. Young people, older people, scouting is open to all. We don't discriminate. So it doesn't matter the kind of religion you belong to. It doesn't matter your nationality. It doesn't matter the kind of profession you belong to. Scouting is open to all. The only thing is that you have to accept to be a scout and to respect the promise. That's it.
Okay, so service to self, service to
duty
others.
Duty to God, others, and self. Yeah.
And if you realize something, duty to self comes last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a scout, you're more committed to your service to God and service to other people.
Yes, but you just mentioned that it's open to everyone.
Yes.
And you said duty to God. What about atheists? Can they be scouts?
Yes, they
Because
could be scouts. They could be scouts because in some associations, it's been debatable for a very long time. But the point is that if we want young people to become disciplined people, if we want young people to belong to a global world, then we also have to start talking about these things.
Okay.
So with the UK Scouts, they are still discussing these things, and they have accepted all.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the child does not decide the kind of religion he or she wants to belong to. It's the parent who does. And if the child is interested to be a scout, why use that against the child?
Okay. Now, I want you to also talk about an upcoming event that I'm hearing about, wherever it's on social media, it's everywhere, about, was it World Scout Day?
No.
Africa Scout.
Africa Scout Day. Okay, so I'll start with you, Nelson. And then I'll come to you on when the Ghana Scout Association was formed as well.
Well, we are here in Ghana with scouts from different countries to mark the Africa Scout Day. And this is usually celebrated on the 13th of March every year. And it was a creation of the Organization of the African Unity, back then OAU, now AU, in the recognition of the contribution that Scouting has given towards the development of Africa. So for us as a movement, we take this as a great honor that the AU, in its wisdom, decided to recognize the contribution that Scouts, not just in Ghana or in Africa, but around the world, are making in changing their communities.
Okay, and Jemima, when and where is this event taking place?
It's about a 4-day.
The 4-day event?
Yes, 4-day event.
Starting from when?
It started from yesterday. Arrivals was on yesterday. We're actually having an opening ceremony this morning at 10 o'clock. And then we're going to have an international youth camp where we have young scouts from all over Africa at the Ifa Sutherland Children's Park. We are camping there actually, so you can come over and see our tents and see how we do. It's very interesting. And then we're going to have some other activities like having the community action challenge where we would have discussions, and we're going to play, we're going to have talks, other things with the children of the correctional center.
And who are some of the people who will be talking, like some of the speakers?
We're expecting the former president of Ghana, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings will be there. We are also expecting the American Embassy Consular, who's also going to be there, and other members of sister organizations like the Girl Guide, the Wildlife, Red Cross, and all those organizations who join us in celebrating this event.
Okay.
Then finally on Saturday, we're going to have the climax of it at the Baden Powell Memorial Hall. And we're also going to use the opportunity to unveil the bust of our former Chief Commissioner, who has done so well for the Ghana Scouts Association, Isaac Newton Adi.
Wonderful.
Okay.
And you want
to add up to what she said, we also be having the Africa Scout Foundation fundraising dinner. And the Africa Scout Foundation was set up so that they could raise some funding to support scouting in Africa. So normally when we have an international scout event, this is also a very key event that comes with it. So it's part of the event for the Africa Scout, the Africa Scouts Day. Yeah.
Even though it's a 4-day event.
Yes, it's in there.
Everything is in
Okay,
there.
so
Let me just
finally,
add something to what both of them have said. Aside
but
from
really quickly though.
Yeah, aside from what they've said, is that we'll also be having a training for young people. You know, as a movement, we are building the next generation of leaders. So we're going to have a training on youth engagement in governance and decision making, so that in the process of their education, we're also building leaders who will take up the reins of leadership across this continent.
Interesting.
Yes.
And finally, Jemima, which countries are participating in this particular, conference event, 4-day event?
Yeah, we're supposed to have delegates from 38 African countries, but now we have Tanzania, we have Kenya, we have Madagascar, we have Namibia, we have Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Niger, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. We have about 20 of them already in, and I'm sure by the time we get back to the camp, lots more of them will.
Any language barrier?
No. French, English, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And apart from the African countries, we also have the Korean Scout Association, who are also participating, though it's for Africa, but countries outside of Africa can also take part, and Korean Scouts are here to celebrate.
And the Secretary General of the World Scout Movement is also here.
Impressive. Okay, so final comments?
Well, for me, I'd just say that scouting is a big opportunity for young people. And we are calling upon governments, we are calling upon our partners to join us, and let's work towards educating a generation that will be prepared and be able to take up responsibility within the society.
Okay, and finally, Jemima?
I just want to say that come to the Ifa Sutherland Children's Park, bring along your children, come and see what we do, and begin to realize that scouting is more than what you think.
So it's not a private event. Anyone can come
Yes,
there.
anyone can come there. It's not a private event.
Okay.
Yeah. We're expecting schools and other people to visit the place.
Finally,
Okay, good. as Nelson said earlier, Africa Scouts Day came about as a result of an MOU between OAU and the ministers of Africa. This day is to remind governments of their commitment towards scouting. I'd like to use this opportunity to invite government to come to our aid, because they are very key, they are key stakeholders in scouting in any part of the world. Thank you.
Okay. Well, what I was told is, I just remembered, Made in Power is our leader, be prepared is our motto, beneficial people is our aim. That's what I was told.
Yes.
That these three, but that's not what it means.
Well,
it's something scouts say,
Exactly.
but not really work. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so I was joined by Nelson Opine. Which scouts do you represent? Which country scouts do you represent?
Well,
Africa Scouts, more or less.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
He's a Kenyan.
but I'm a Kenyan.
But you're a Kenyan. Wonderful. Communications and Public Relations Officer for the World Scouts Bureau, the African Regional Office, and also Jimmy Manate is the Vice Chairperson of the World Scout Committee, and Gregory Almafo is the Chief Commissioner for the Ghana Scouts Association. And we have been enlightened. There's a 4-day event going on. It started yesterday and it's happening at the Ifwa Sutherland Park. So, today you should just drive by and see exactly what's happening and get interested. So stay tuned to the Breakfast Show. So many things coming up. There's the local segment in Ever with Ifo Gameli, aka Akpekakakakaka. And I want to thank Rimes Couture for my lovely shirt I'm wearing right now. They're in Committee 25 in Tema, and also Summerwear for customizing the footwear that I wear all the time. Stay tuned to the Breakfast Show.
Have you ever thought of how life will be after retirement? What plans have you put in place towards your retirement?
I have no idea.
Yeah, as a pension is the income you earn after retirement.
Do you even understand the retirement systems that operate